Senator Ibrahim Oloriegbe, Senate Committee Chair on Diaspora and NGOs. Do we have a representative of Sadiya, Umar, Farouq, the Honourable Minister?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, please join us, ma'am.
Okay.
Do we have a representative of Prince Clem, the Honourable Minister of State Budget and National Planning, in the room? No? Okay. Do we have a representative for PLAC? Okay, Mr. Clem was here yesterday. And then we'll invite the head of Cooperation, European Union Delegation to Nigeria and Ecowas, Cécile, Tassin-Pelzer. I hope I didn't mess up that name. And she would have to leave shortly, so please excuse her if she needs to step out. And I don't see Jake, not Jack, Epele in the room. Jake, not Jack. Is he here, or did he send a representative? Okay, he's not here. All right, so without further ado, I leave the panel to Mr. Roy. Princess is to join us online. Is she with us?
Yes, ma'am, I am. Good afternoon.
Is Princess Modukbe Ozoloa online? Okay, wonderful.
Yes, I am.
All right, over to you, Roy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, let me welcome all of us to this very important segment of our engagement in the last 3 days. You permit me to just ask the panelists again to carefully introduce themselves, and also for those who are representing others, then let us know who they are so that we'll do that. I start with you, Honourable again.
May it please my co-panelists, fellow participants, I am Honourable Dr. Ajibola Moraina. I am a member of House of Representatives representing distinguished Senator Oloriegbe, and also I'm a member of the House of Representatives Committee on Civil Societies. Pleased to be here.
Thank you very much. Please, if we are clapping, let us clap. It's not always very easy when we have engagements like this, and you have our legislators finding time to come and sit through with us. The Honourable was here yesterday. His colleague was here 2 days ago. I think he deserves another round of applause. Thank you very much. Madam, can you carefully introduce yourself?
A very good afternoon to all of us. I respect every protocol. My name is Mrs. Mfawa Usani. I'm an Assistant Director, Social Development Department, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. I'm a representative of the Honourable Minister, Hajia Farouq. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think that our colleague from the EU will have to introduce herself.
Thank you. So good afternoon. I'm very pleased to be with you today. I'm not the first EU representative in this conference. We shared. You have seen several of my colleagues in the 3 days, and I'm very happy to finally join you. So I'm Cécile Tassin-Pelzer. Call me Cécile, it's easier. And I'm the head of cooperation of the European Union in Nigeria. Thank you.
You will agree with me that in the last 3 days, the partners have been here, and EU has been very, very consistent. I am sure that almost every sector of the EU has been represented in this meeting. And I've just been informed that CC has to leave shortly, so I'm going to begin with you. The partners' work in Nigeria is actually to strengthen relationships between government and the civil society and perhaps the public. So CC, I begin with you, the first question. How would you assess the working relationship between Nigerian civil society sector and government in strengthening the civic space?
Thank you very much. Well, the responsibility or the objective of the European Union in Nigeria is not to do this assessment actually, but just to contribute to improving this relationship. As you know, the European Union engages with both the government side and the civil society side, and we encourage and we support the collaboration between the two. We believe it is important to contribute to improve this partnership, first to ensure a conducive environment for civil society in Nigeria, and actually we do the same in all Africa as well. And second, we think it's important to ensure an effective contribution of the civil society to development and to good governance. So for us, it is very important to work in parallel with both and to help both to work better together. So in every country, actually, we prepare what we call a CSO roadmap. And we prepare it, it's not only the European Union delegation, but it's also the EU member states. It's what we call Team Europe approach. And we choose some objectives of our support to the civil society organizations. And I think for our discussion today, I could focus on in particular, one objective is to promote the participation of civil society in all levels of policy process in Nigeria. So in a federal country like Nigeria, you know, it means also federal, but also subnational at state level, AGA level. So really this participation, we believe it's very important that it takes place at every level. And also another objective I would like to highlight from our CSO roadmap is the strengthening of the CSO's capacity to hold, so that they are able to hold the government accountable. And this is a counterpower which is very important, and this is really at the foundation of our support, and in particular of this program, of the EU ICT program.
Thank you very much. Can we give her a round of applause? Yes. Well, the EU has been in Nigeria, and briefly, they support government civil society engagement. And you will agree with me that the advent of the current republic, democratic efforts, the EU plays a major role in our electionary processes. Again, let us give her another round of applause. Just about when we were trying to round up the last part of the discussion, Chief Jake Epele walked in. You're welcome. Honourable, I'm going to go to you on this, because the last few years we've been trying to evolve some systematic relationship between the civil society and the legislature. That engagement became very significant some 2 years back when you started looking at some legislations as they border around the operations of civil society in Nigeria. The question is, how does the government view the historical contributions of the civil society to the formulation of legislations and regulations? Now, we are asking this question because, like our legend once said, MK Abiola, you can't shave my head in my absence. Am I correct? You can't legislate on my behalf without my involvement. So it is important that you begin to look at this, so that we begin to engage with you in a more systematic manner, so that all of us will own the process of legislation. Please, how can you view the historical relationship between the civil society and the government when it comes to formulation of regulations and legislations? Thank you very much.
Thank you. First and foremost, all over the world, the primary purpose of government is the welfare of citizens. Thomas Hobbes said this several years ago, and this has been the pursuit of every government all over the world since then till now. And I'm sure even in the future to come, That will also be the primary purpose of governance. Now, the primary purpose for the existence of civil societies is also the welfare of citizens. Am I right? Yeah. Now, you can see clearly that there is a convergence, there is a center point at which government and the civil societies meet and at which they must meet. Government views the civil societies from this angle. We believe if we are to attain welfare of citizens, if we are to make life better for the people, then we must see you and relate with you as partners in this matter. And that is how we see you. Now, most of the laws that are made, and most of the time when they are made, we cannot make them inputs from your end. And the inputs we are going to get with regards to registration, lawmaking, regulations, and other things, we believe these inputs are the things that will affect whatever amendments, whatever proposals will be brought before Parliament, and in whatever manner and way Parliament will deal with these amendments. We also believe that apart from the statutory regulation, which we do, we believe you could also help government even more with respect to self-regulation. And we believe that the effect of self-regulation could also have some impact on even our so-called statutory regulation, which is basically midwifed by us. Don't forget, inputs are taken from you, even with regards to the statutory regulations, before the amendments are made. But like I said in one of our small panel yesterday, if you, as CSOs, through your, particularly the Nigerian network of NGOs, if you take your self-regulation much more seriously, all the items that you have there, from your discussions at your level to certification to all those things, some people say they are 6, some people say they are 8. If you take them much more seriously and you properly self-regulate yourself, you will discover that there will be very limited space for regulation, even by through the government, via the government. Because your own self-regulation will have serious impact, meaningful impact, and also a much more direct impact that will reduce the need for rigorous regulation via statutory means, which could pass through the government. So what I'm saying, in effect, is that you, as a body, seeing you as a very strong partner in terms of how we can work together to attain the best for our citizens, whatever is the outcome of your self-regulation, and then the impact of your ideas that you bring forth for us when it comes to statutory regulation, both will work together to make our work easier and to also make the attainment of our goal, our common goal, which is the welfare of the citizens, to make them much more easier for us. So you can see that though we are partners, but it appears you have more to contribute. I am submitting that it appears you have more to regulate, more to contribute, particularly with regards to your own internal self-regulation. Now, too, particularly with the fact that you need to bring forth ideas, generate ideas that can lead to proposals, great proposals, wonderful proposals, meaningful proposals that can be brought to us to make use of in the process of amending the laws to achieve the greater goal of welfare of the citizens. We look forward to this, and we hope that we'll be able to do this more for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we should clap. If we have achieved anything, I think that we have a convert with us. This meeting has achieved a major advocacy point. Today, we have a National Assembly member who is a major advocate, who now understands what the civil society is supposed to be doing. And he is now telling us that the onus is on us to generate the ideas that we will support the National Assembly on what kind of regulations, what kind of legislations we want. Can we give him another round of applause? Let me acknowledge our online participants, Princess Modupe Ozulua, who is coming from the office of the Deputy Senate President. We will be calling upon you in the next few minutes, but just before then, let me invite the representative of the Honourable Minister. We are forging a partnership, and today we have a Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. All of us know that Nigeria is going through very challenging times, and that ministry has been up and doing. The big question is, what is the partnership between your ministry and the civil society community? This is following what the Honourable Member has said. We need to work together to achieve the welfare of citizens. So he has spoken from a legislative standpoint. We have you as somebody from the policy arm, which is the executive. So what can you say is the relationship, given your experience and what the ministry is currently doing to ameliorate or intervene in crisis-ridden areas? Sometimes, today we are being called the poverty capital of the world. You are also running a number of interventions to see if you can reduce poverty. Now, we want to hear what relationship you have with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. For the ministry, it's a humanitarian ministry. All we do is to oversee the welfare of every Nigerian, particularly the vulnerable groups. And I'm aware the ministry has a technical group that really brings together all the representatives of most of these international bodies that are here to strengthen what government is doing to support our work. I happen to be part of that group. They come together, address issues. The last meeting that was held, they were addressing an issue that borders on the policy of the internally displaced persons in Nigeria, which just was launched by the minister. I'm also aware from every aspect of the departments of the ministry, specifically the program departments, we have units or branch, you may call it, that really focuses on NGO. Sometime I was a DEX in my department, the Social Development Department. So because we cherish the partnership with the CSOs, we have the ministry, from the organogram of the ministry, there's a provision where you can come to request for partnership. And you know, the partnership between government and CSOs, we are not the one to say, come and partner with us. You are the one to request, I am doing something that relates to your mandate. I want to work with you. There's already an enabling environment for any CSO that is relevant to humanitarian sector to request for partnership with us. And then based on what you're doing, I'm aware there are some of them that invite us for their activities. And sometimes we serve as observers. And sometimes when they request of sponsorship, and there's a provision for us to do that, we don't resist to do that. And part of what we are doing, we know the ministry has rolled out a lot of interventions in terms of, we have the home growth school feeding. We have the conditional cash transfer program. We have the NPAR, NSIP that has NPAR and other NPAR and other programs. All this is targeted in further, broadening the scope of us meeting the vulnerable persons. So in summary, we have also policies that enables us to open up to CSOs based on whatever you're doing that is relevant to us. We will not come to ask for your partnership, but as long as you come to us to request for partnership, there's an enabling environment from the policy angle and from the structure of the ministry for us to partner with CSOs. So the partnership is already there. As I speak to you, we have a lot of CSOs who are relevant to us in what we do that work with us. I hope I answered the question.
Well, thank you very much. Government seems to have a framework that accommodates the civil society. But let me encourage all of us. Governments do seek civil society partnership. And the reasons why you do that is because there are certain areas that the government may not be able to get to, and the civil society organizations are already there. So they help you in bringing information, data that you require to intervene, especially given very high levels of poverty. There are a lot of households going home or going to bed without food. That kind of information may be useful to you. Thank you very much. Can we give her a round of applause? I'm going to go to participants, Princess Modupe, who is joining us online. Can you hear us? Hello,
Yes,
Princess?
I can. Yes, I can.
Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
Very good. Very important question that I'm going to put forward to you. The legislature remains one of the very critical arms of government as far as we are concerned. You provide the nexus between government, that is the policymaker, the private sector, and then the civil society. You are supposed to be making laws that will help us promote private sector commitment, private sector implementation or support to government policies, and legislations that can help the private sector thrive. My question is, what is the role of the private sector, or what should be the role of the private sector in strengthening the civic space? Remember, you make laws in between government, the private sector, and you also cater for the welfare of the citizens.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. It is important that we do recognize that there are many private organizations in the private sector, businesses that do have foundations that also operate within the nonprofit space. So they do cater. Also, there are provisions in the law where tax laws that the private sector, when they do donate or support activities of nonprofit organizations, they're entitled to tax breaks. Is everybody aware of that? Now that's a whole different story, because there are many provisions in different laws that encourage, already in laws, that encourage both the private sector and also individuals to support the nonprofit space. So it's imperative that both the players, both from the private sector space and also those players within the nonprofit space, understand what these opportunities are and know how to push them forward. Because if I want donations to my nonprofit, I'm aware of this tax break, I will simply put this forward to a private business and say, you know what, if you donate to me, you're able to write this off in your taxes, which is pretty much done in many countries across the world. But the issue is, are we in the nonprofit space aware of these opportunities, the opportunities that already exist? Because sometimes we're talking about changing laws, making laws. Are we even aware of the benefits that we already have within existing laws? So when the conversation starts with that, it does simplify things, because it's not always making laws. There are way too many laws already regarding CSOs in Nigeria. How about we sit down and look at what we already have, know how to modify them, strengthen them, and make it work better for all stake players? I think that is the first start before we start talking about additional bits and whatnot. And in addition, There are several platforms that we have created now that will encourage not just the corporate private sector to support CSOs, but individuals and also more donors. And how we're doing that is currently, fortunately, is in partnership with relevant MDAs, the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, and fortunately it's been supported by the EU ACT program, which also Mr. Jake's organization is part of. We have come together to identify key areas that we need to work on. It's not, like I said, it's not just about laws. We have, in the process, we're creating a database, Nigeria's first database, which is domiciled at the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, specifically the National Planning Division, whereby all the CSOs in Nigeria will be on that platform. But what's most important about it is that it's going to have direct interface with all the other MDA's regulatory platforms, which makes it easier for donations. So I, from the private sector, I can sit down in my house and decide I want to support a nonprofit in, let's say, Bayelsa State. I can simply go on that platform, type in Bayelsa State, do advanced searches. I want to support women empowerment in specific communities. Automatically, all the information will show. And because the interface has direct communication with other MDAs, certifying MDAs, it shows that they are duly registered, they are not fraudulent. And at my leisure, I can simply click on their website, look at the one I want to support, and communicate with them directly to support them. So when we're talking about building and empowering donation support, whatever, for the CSO, we need to think beyond laws. There are many rules. There are very many tools that we can put together and make this happen, such as this database that we're currently working on with the national planning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think she deserves a round of applause. Sometimes if you don't ask, you don't know. You can imagine that the National Assembly has gone far beyond what we are doing and looking at other sources of support for the civil society community. Chief Jake, you were mentioned in the last discussion. It shows that you're already interfacing significantly with the legislature. So the big question for you is, what are those areas, those priority areas that you think that a very strong civil society government collaboration can help us achieve? Your organization is a bigger beneficiary of perhaps this engagement with government.
Point of correction. My organization is not a bigger beneficiary of government. We do not take anything from government. Recently, I won't mention the organization because you immediately know, but there was an organization that we made a proposal to, and the head of that organization said, well, since you're proposing to get this, why don't your organization go ahead and supply it? And it was a 200 million naira job. I looked at the gentleman and said, thank you so much, but I'm not a business entity. Look for somebody else, give them the contract, they will go through your processes, and they will supply. I walked away from it. Given the opportunity right now, I'll still do the same thing because I am not a business entity. But also to say that I am grateful to my head of corporation. The EU is the biggest funding partner of the Albino Foundation. So you see the difference. So if I had taken contract from government, she will watch me with a second eyes. All right. Let me apologize. I had scheduled myself today, and on the program, I was supposed to be on a panel at 2. This is my 6th meeting today. Don't ask me how I do it. Sometimes I start at 4 a.m. I'm winding down because sooner or later I would vacate my position. I already vacated one on the 30th of August as the president of Albinism Association of Nigeria. I resigned voluntarily because I wanted younger people to take the position and lead. And I handed over to a woman as the acting president. So with that said, sir, what can we do with CSOs. I don't want to start by not giving you a thumbs up for correcting my sister who said that they will have to wait in Ministry of Humanitarian for us to come to them. Madam, times have changed. Times have changed. It's all about partnership. Our coming to you does not make us weak. Our coming to you is to create synergy where you can get better and we will get better. And so it's important. Part of this partnership is what we're going to do, and I'm letting the cat out of the bag. We're going to do on the 4th of October. On the 4th of October, the Speaker of the House is going to endorse our intern projects for persons with disability. We have been campaigning for you to vote for us, for you to allow us to vote. Now we are changing the tide. We are saying to you, vote for us. So we are we're going to send 30, thanks for the EU, we're going to send 30 young persons with disability into the National Assembly. And so we're going to be coming to you. And we'll put them in their offices to study them and know what it takes to be a politician. And guess what? The good thing is that the EU pays their salary for a whole 12 months. That's how partnership with government can work. For the first time in this country, we're going to deploy 4 sign language individuals into the National Assembly. They will sign to make sure that our friends who are hard in hearing will be able to follow the proceeding. And we also have the assurance of the Speaker and the Senate President that they will follow them wherever they go, except their bedroom, to make sure that whatever they do, this group of people will partake and be part of it. I'd like to end by reminding us the need for self-regulation. In Albino Foundation, from day one, our account, our annual report are in the public portal. It is, you can check it. This is the day of fact checking. albinofoundation.org. You'll be able to download and see who has funded us and what we have done with the funding. That's why when they write petition against me, it doesn't work. Before the petition will arrive, EFCC would have gone to our portal and see that there's no way that you can trace a dime. And I stand to say any day until I resign, because I will. I'm not going to hand over when I'm dead. I will be alive to hand over to the younger ones. As a matter of fact, let me report to my head of corporation that they gave us the opportunity to employ 10 new staff to strengthen the management of Albino Foundation. And all of them are less than 35 years old. It's deliberate. The sweet part is that we are 12 in the management team. 6 are women. So we are maintaining 50% gender. So, sir, because of that, when you self-regulate yourself, you avoid government regulation. Mm-hmm. When you show transparency, you can imagine how white I am looking. When I become when I steal, when you are running away, I can't run away. I can't go anywhere. so you can imagine if I have skeleton in my cupboard. I can tell you my head of corporation is here. I can tell you it is not easy to work for the EU. Yeah. Okay. It is not, because not only did we try to do well the first time, we had our own shortcoming, but EU took us off from application process to direct grant process in just one intervention. Mm. They didn't do it because they like Jake. They do it because they are sure and certain their money is safe. You were right. son asked me this morning, "Oh, Daddy, are you going with your truck?" I turned and I told him, I said, "The truck is not mine. It belongs to the EU." So that tomorrow, if I finish the project and return the truck, he won't come and ask me, "Daddy, where is your truck?" So with that said, sir, let us always remember that we can make a living with what we get, but we make life with what we give. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Can we give him another round of applause? I've just been told that we have less than 10 minutes to round up. Let me again thank the head of cooperation for being very patient to sit with us. It's a very important engagement. You now see that the government is working with us from the policy and legislative side, and they have even told us that we can strengthen that relationship and organize ourselves to support them with what we want. We are going to take just 4 questions, 2 on each side, 1 female, 1 male on each side, and then if we have an online, we take 1. I have 2 on this side, but I want a female here, so I take 1 first. 1, any female? Any female? Okay. Female, can we see the first hand? There are 2 behind. Okay, so we take you the first one now. So please, can somebody come help us? So, sir, please, short and straight.
That the first one is just a comment, and the other one is a request. The comment is for the National House of Assembly. As you rightly observe, sir, civil society organization, media, and the House of Assembly belong to the same family. They are all from the demand side. So working together will have very much impact on the people we are serving. So we need to see more of, engagement from the House with the civil society organization. We have achieved so much at the state level through that. Then coming to the humanitarian ministry, I went to request that whatever intervention you are taking to the state level, try to involve civil society there. Because there are so many cases of fraudulent acts that are going on at the state level in the process of delivering these services. We have an example from my state where I come from, Katsina State. The minister was there physically. She met with the leadership of the people living with disabilities. She promised them that the intervention for 7,000 people coming to the state, 20% will go to them. And that 20% is 1,400 people that will benefit from that intervention. But eventually when the minister came to launch the program, she started and left the place for the people at the state level to continue with the project. But eventually what happened, that project stopped after 2-3 days. This class of people were called to provide only 30 people to benefit from what the minister promised that they will get 1,400 people. Okay. So these are some of the things that are going at the state. Had they been in the first place, the civil society organization are involved, similar things will never happen.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Can you just give that to the next, please? The next question, precise to the point, please. The lady behind, just be waiting. Take the yes, please.
Thank you very much. My question is directed to the representative of Minister of Humanitarian and Social Development. My question is, what is the sustainability plan after this government? We know the Office of Minister of Humanitarian will be doing a lot, working, engaging to reduce poverty at the local level. But what is the sustainability plan after this government elapsed? Are we going to change names again? Because we keep changing them. We have Shopee, we have YesO, and now we have Empower and all of that. So are we keep changing names when government comes, or there is sustainability plan?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Alaji, can we take you a quick question? And okay, the lady, you have the mic?
Yes.
Please, let's go.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. My name is Rosemary. My question is, the take-home since the past 2 days is how we could create a favorable environment for civil society organizations in Nigeria. And to be candid, I look forward to another conference where we could gather here to talk about our achievements, our successes, not to repeat what we've been talking for the past 2-3 days. So my question is like this. I understand that we have NGOs, some of them in Nigeria. They are implementers like us. They hustle for funds like us. So I want to know what laws regulate their activities in Nigeria. Because my organization, for example, out of the 8 statutory laws, I know we are compliant with 7 already. So I want to know if they also are subjected to and made up all these processes. And I'm asking because sometimes you, when you go, you write proposal, you solicit for funds, and then you notice that these NGOs, some of them that are implementing Nigeria, register using Nigerian name. And when it comes to seeking for funds, they are most preferred. And they leave us, the national organization, behind. So please, I need that clarification. I want to know the laws that regulate the activities in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Elijah, we just take the last one. So we will present all the answers at the same time.
Well, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. In fact, we have to thank EU and the partners that happen to provide this opportunity for us. You have been forefront to make sure that we have been enlightened, and we have been having opportunity to meet with our government partners. But, hello?
Okay. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay? So it is through this meeting, my organization happened to have Sukumo, because I have contact with the right people, but it is because of this opportunity. But my thinking here is that, what is government doing to be on the driver's side? If EU and the British Council and what have you, the development partners said, okay, now the pot is dry, does it mean that this opportunity is going to wind up? And some of us that are living in the rural areas, like me, happen to come from Bauchi. It is an opportunity for me to be here. But I love all the remaining civil societies organizations in Ada, Nook, and Cranny to have this opportunity, because it is an open opportunity for us to open our eyes and even to meet the partners that sometimes you will not even ever think of meeting them, isn't it? Then what is government is doing? My legislator is there. Is there going to be an opportunity whereby government is going to be on the driver's seat? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. My name is Rose Daniel. I'm representing Cedar Seed Foundation. Our organization is advocating for the rights and issues of people with disabilities. I have a humble appeal for the representative of Humanitarian Affairs. Ma, thank you so much for your response. And my appeal is that, please, when it comes to intervention programs, you people should consider persons with disabilities, because sometimes you will see a vacancy or interventions, but there is an age limit. Sometimes the limit is 35 years. My appeal is that some of us are not able to enroll in schools on time because of our issues and our health status.
Okay.
Most especially people that cannot walk at all, people that are affected in some parts of their bodies. They can't go to school until when they are strong and able.
Okay.
Like myself, today I'm 42 years old. And most at times, I can't participate in most of the interventions because of I'm already above the age limit. So please, you should consider persons with disabilities, like you can reduce the age limit or remove it completely for persons with disabilities.
You could get special consideration.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, quickly, we have less than 2 minutes. We will do something very strategic. I begin with the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Most of the questions come to you. And then after that, I move to Chief Jake and the Honourable Member. Online? Anybody online?
Yes, please.
Okay, yes, please. Go on.
Mr. Oloriegbe, go ahead.
The name again? Hello?
Hello?
Oloriegbe,
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Of course, my name is Oloriegbe from True Organic Africa Foundation in Ilorin, Kwara State. We do appreciate various initiatives and support from Ministry and National Assembly. But the question is, exactly for Humanitarian Affairs and Ministry, in whatever project you are doing, we are in digital age. And I'm joining the call from Ilorin, thanks to Zoom and digital opportunity. If your project, your initiative and work are not put on website, on your platform, over 50% of potential beneficiaries will be disenfranchised. So that is the area I need you to look at and tell the minister that initiative, whatever you are doing, let's have them on your website so that we increase inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Honourable Minister, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have one more. Just to be balanced with the online community, please.
Go ahead. Hello? Hello? Can we go on while we are waiting? All right, madam.
Hello?
Are you on?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Yahuza Ismail from Maiduguri.
Maiduguri.
Yeah, so mine is like this, it goes in this way, that when the government are coming up with any intervention and some of the NGOs activity and implementation, they should try as much as they can to look at the sustainability measures. Most of the times whenever there are activity, maybe by the federal government or maybe some of the NGOs, they usually give a grant based on the time frame of the project. They don't usually look at the sustainability. I think it will be very important. I really appreciate the organizers of this activity for the wonderful event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so you.
Thank you so much. Yes, the first question or concern was about the state level intervention and the percentage given to disabled persons. It's already mainstream in the policy that 15% of the overall of whatever intervention that is being carried out goes to persons with disabilities. It's already mainstream. And then the point is, you are looking at 15% of 7,000. 7,000, was it specific for your state alone or national? For the states, okay. At a particular location where they are carrying out the exercise, there may be specific number of disabled persons at that point. At every point is 30. At a payment point is 30. So you put that 30, you know how many points they are going to go. It's not only the list you saw there that they are going to be giving support. This thing is drawn from many, many variables, like the register for the vulnerable households, and then the data that is already mainstream in the database of specific programs that is being carried out by the ministry. So if they say 30 at a unit, it doesn't mean it's only 30 that is given to the state. You may be misinforming. So just take note of that. And you are at liberty to come to the ministry. Yeah, you are at liberty to come to the ministry to ask questions. And again, I want us to know that it is even because of this concern that the ministry also rolled out the commission Commission for Disabled Persons. Like the concern you have given about the age, you have a commission that is designated to answering requests from disabled persons, which is an agency under the ministry. You are at liberty to go to your commission, the Commission for Disabled Persons, put your complaint, they'll forward it to the minister. She will consider it. Beyond this, I'm going to report back, but you are at liberty to go to the commission and say age is a problem to us. We want you to recheck these things and review them based on some certain conditions and concerns. And then there's a question also that talks about the sustainability plan. You know, before now, every government had come out. The business of government is to support the people and make sure living condition is improved. And you know, every government come out with one program or the other. Every regime, I don't have good history of it, but we are all Nigerians. From this program to this program to that program, but all the same, this government was very, very concerned and particular by giving us a ministry. Ministry does not come and go. Ministry has come to stay. It's a ministry that draws civil servants from all angles. Ministry will not be changed. Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, even after this government, is a ministry, is staying. And this program also will remain. And that is the reason why they moved the program from presidency. Not to say if maybe the presidency leaves, that program will die with the president. The programs, the NC is resident in the ministry. So it's a program that is already, there's a plan of sustainability. That is why government took all these decisions. So that even if they leave, the ministry remains there. The programs are there. We'll continue to run the programs. We are the civil servants, we'll continue to run it. So there's no fear about that. I think that is the summary of what you are. Then putting the program on websites. There are some of our programs, we have some websites that are running. I don't have a good information on that. But if I have the secretariat here, I will get more information on that. I will reveal to them some of the websites that are already working. And if there are more things to be added to it, I will communicate back to the ministry. Thank you.
I think the last question there should be on employment of those who are challenged. Yeah.
I have answered. It's not employment, it's the revisiting of the age limit of beneficiaries.
All right, thank you very much.
Addressed.
Can we give her a round of applause? Quickly, the Honourable Member and Chief Jake will be looking at the laws surrounding NGOs, INGOs, and how they can participate, and then government leadership. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much. My dear Madam from our ministry, please, you don't have a disabled commission. You have National Commission for Persons with Disability. There's no disabled commission, and we are not disabled people. No, it's okay. Sometimes it does happen. All of us are learning. It's just that every opportunity, I must correct it. Whether it's coming from Buhari, or the minister or the Prime Minister of Britain, I must correct it. All right. So with that said, my brother, let me attest to the fact that first, I'm not a politician, I'm apolitical. Secondly, I don't work for the National Assembly. And I'm also part of the people that don't like everything they do. But however, I speak the truth. If there's one arm of government that is so open for collaboration and have truly collaborated with civil society, is the National Assembly. Truth be told, they worked with us. Do you know that this National Assembly is a heroic National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives? The House of Representatives Speaker established the first committee in the House, in the whole of Africa, on disability. Nigeria is the only legislative assembly organ that have a specific committee for persons with disability. They collaborated with us for the establishment of that community, that committee. In terms of legislation, for the first time, Electoral Act 2022, Section 54, subsection 1 and 2, captured for the first time the needs of persons with disability in the electoral process. Unknown to many people, it was funded by European Union. So today, after 58 years, I'm 61, and I sure look good at 61, right? I voted for the first time when I was 58 years old, simply because the European Union stood by us and we changed the status quo. And today, not only persons with albinism, but persons with disability can have priority voting, introduction of Braille, introduction of magnifying glasses, introduction of sign language at the polling unit, accessibility. You know, I say this not to blow my trumpet. I say it because to encourage you that is seated here. It takes one man to change a generation. It takes one woman to change it. That person can be you seated here in this room. So the introduction of several technology around, for the first time, we had to go to Kenya to teach Kenya people how to do inclusion, thanks to the EU. You know, so what I'm saying is there is that collaboration. It's just that when you don't know where to go, you can't walk into National Assembly and you want to ask for collaboration. You have to be specific, you have to be strategic, you have to have capacity. All right, so let me quickly, you talked about an aspect, sir. They brought up an aspect that I'm so passionate. I was bold to tell the EU, anything you're giving me money to do that cannot be sustained, I don't want to do it. Sustainability is not in the hand of the development partner, nor in the hand of ministry. Sustainability is in the hand of the civil society. How can you do it? Let me say it before you stone me. How can you do it? Don't intervene in any program that is one-off. In other words, some of the things, some of our programs, what we've done, we went to MDAs, we went to other arms of government, and we empower them to take ownership of the job. We don't go there and lord our ideologies and principles over them. We work with them collaboratively so that they can take ownership of the job, take the leadership, and we follow behind. When we run out of money, they will continue. Because once you get a man to commit to something, that person sees it as his own, and he will drive it even after you have gone. I'm seated here to the glory of God. I led the committee that wrote the Inclusive Education for Nigeria. I have just been told by Federal Ministry of Education to start the reverse of that policy. I wrote the albinism policy. I wrote the special education policy. Now, I said I'm speaking on behalf of my team. If you ask me, I don't even know anything. It's my team that does it. Okay, they just push me in front. But guess what? Those policies are not Albino Foundation policies. Those policies are federal government policies. And guess what? For the first time, listen, don't buy the crap that we have too many policies, therefore there's no need for policies. Excuse me. Let there be policy and we struggle for implementation than no policy at all.
Thank you so very much. Wonderful, wonderful submission.
Just before we go, let the
No, hold on a second, sir. It's been a really, really illuminating panel, and I'm really sorry to interrupt, but we promised people to be able to leave early today. So if we can just have closing thoughts
closing
from, just very, very short parting shots, that would be fantastic. Can we please start with Princess, who's online? Can we please start with Princess?
Let the Honourable finish.
Thank you. Well, I don't need to belabor the issue of the need for National Assembly to open its doors wide open to consultations. To the glory of God, my brother has greatly assisted, and what a better credential we won't look for. We'll continue to remain so. Our doors will remain open. I'll continue to consult and allow you to be involved in whatever we are doing. Secondly, somebody raised something about some people coming to the country and whether there are different laws guiding them. I think the most basic and elementary principle of governance or government is that the law is no respecter of persons, be it below or high, rich or poor. I believe that whatever laws are relating to our local operators, I think to the best of my ability, they should be applicable to any other person that is there. The take home is still very important. And what is the take home? Is what my brother has emphasized. Take self-regulation very seriously. If you self-regulate yourself properly, you are likely to reduce the need for any regulation, rigorous regulation from the government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cécile, just some last remark.
Thank you very much. I would say, that improving the environment of CSOs is an ongoing journey. It's not finished. We are, I think, we saw in the discussions, we are aiming at more simplification. Of course, the organization, they are created and active because they believe in a cause and they don't want to spend all their time on administrative matters, and this is very understandable. And I think that simplification actually we could use more digital solutions. You mentioned the website, but I think we need more and more digital solutions. So simplification is one. Secondly, I would say inclusiveness. We really want the environment to be improved so that small organizations are also included, that it's not too big and too difficult for them. And I would just conclude that, as long as this improvement is needed, you can count on the support of the European Union. We will continue to support improving the environment for CSOs, because we are fully convinced that CSOs are key actors for good governance and development. Thank you very much.
One sentence, just one sentence.
We want to tell Nigerians that we are always there to make sure that Nigerians are brought out of poverty and good life is for every Nigerian, child or adult. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, let me thank the panelists for the honor to be part of this meeting, and to thank all of you for the very, 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 very dynamic discussion. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Please, let's have a parting shot from Princess.
Oh.
Online.
Oh, Princess, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Please, your parting statement.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we should all take home from here is that partnerships are important. Relationships are important, be it with CSOs, private sector, government, and it takes willingness, flexibility, and mutual respect to achieve whatever it is we want to. So, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to working with the CSO sectors to achieve as much as we can while we're still there in the Ninth Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we take a group photograph?
Yes, please.
Yes. Photographers?
Can we have Princess on the screen as well so she can join the photograph? Like her image. Perfect. No, this is good. This is good, Princess. This is good.
No, I'm not having a camera hair day. So we have to.
No, that's fine. This just want your picture in the background.
Stop putting me on the spot.
Behind us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Please, another round of applause for our panelists and moderator. We can have this conversation all day, but yes. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. Okay, we're almost at lunch. Just a couple of things before then.